This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Caroline, you should tell them about the newest thing that Bloody Happy Hour is doing.
A Patreon.
It's a Patreon. What is that?
That means you're basically like a VIP member, and there's 2 different levels that you can, subscribe to, and you get some perks. You maybe get like merch a little earlier. You get
Exclusive merch.
You could get first dibs on signing up for a live show. You get episodes with no commercials.
You get our video because our video is no longer available on YouTube. It is only on Patreon. And the most important to me is you get videos of our live shows. So if you are far away and you couldn't make our last live show, it will be on the website. We're going to record this future live show. It's going to be on Patreon, but also bonus episodes each month. You guys tell us all the time you want more episodes. This is a way for you to get more episodes. So you're going to get our basic Tuesday, Thursdays that we always put out, right? But if you're on a Patreon, you're VIP, you're going to get more.
I can't wait to talk about in detail some more stories because I always have a lot of details I want to go to. I can law-splain. I might read a book.
They just unsubscribed. This is also going to be the exclusive place that Dirty Chat is going to go to. So if that is breaking some of your hearts, just go ahead and subscribe now. In order to hear the full content, it's going to be Patreon. Where do they go again?
Patreon.com/Bloody Happy Hour.
Don't forget to
Stay aware.
stay alive.
And always be DTF.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline. And this is your Bloody Happy Hour.
Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody Happy Hour.
What's up, y'all?
Hey guys,
We are here.
we're back.
Bloody Happy Hour time. It's special today. Why is it special? Because it's brunch. We're doing our first Bloody Happy Hour brunch. And did you know we had an anniversary?
Oh, I know.
Today is
our 1 month.
It 100% is. And I am getting ready to leave for Florida. And I'm so excited. We're going to Panama City Beach, and Florida is just our place that we go every summer. And because my son graduated in 2020 and he didn't get a good senior trip, so we're going there. And then my husband's little brothers just graduated from high school, real dysfunctional, I know. So, but one of his little brothers is 18. So they just graduated and they're having like a little senior trip too. So there's a bunch of us going. So it's going to be really fun, really exciting.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun.
And I really just love the beach.
Are you gonna go find any like murder spots?
There's a long ride, so I'm going to do some research for some of these episodes coming up. But I will probably just have to look up, like, just in case we're driving through a town that I need to take a detour.
Yeah, for sure.
For a certain story.
I mean, you are dedicated like that.
I do. Like,
Yeah.
I know which towns we should stop in and not stop in because of like the crimes that have happened in each.
See,
town.
that's why I'm gonna take you on my next vacation.
Yes. So what's coming up these next 4 episodes, we're prepping you now, is women killers.
Crazy bitches.
Badass bitches. Like bad in all forms of the definition.
And all kinds of psychopaths.
They are crazy.
That's an understatement.
So we've been doing just about all men. Well, you did your Kristen Niece, and so that was a female killer.
Yeah.
Skylar Niece.
Niece.
I don't know why I think her name is Kristen.
It was a Sheila. I'm just gonna do Sheila killers.
Oh, so you're doing another Sheila.
I'm doing another Sheila.
And you're doing a Diane.
And I'm doing a Diane.
I'm doing a Katherine.
Oh.
And
With a K.
With the K. And I think I'm doing Madame LaLaurie.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. But I have to tell you that I had a little panic, like true crime, not really even true crime. Trent, which is my son, was in California this week. Like, just was like, Mom, we're going to California. And I was like, but we're going to Florida. Oh, I'll be back. So he literally flew back from California last night, and then we're going to Florida in the morning, basically. But I was scared to death for my 19-year-old to be in California by himself. And so I was like,
By himself?
well, not by himself. He was with some friends, but there was no adult supervision.
He's in college.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
But I was
I
just
can't.
panicking a little
Why?
bit. So I
By
was like,
himself all the time.
I gave him like all these stories of things that could happen.
Oh my god.
So this is what he told me, and this is how I'm ending the story. He was
Okay.
like, Mom, I need you to remember that you're an educator and not an FBI investigator.
That's so rude.
I know. And I was like, but they should hire me.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is my
So this is your
plea.
application?
This is my application. I need to be in the FBI.
Okay, well, FBI.
So my son will listen to my stories. I am going to talk about Katherine Knight. She,
is a crazy.
I mean, I love me a good crazy. So this episode is called Man-Eater. So Katherine Knight, Man-Eater, of course, I read the book. It is a great, like, short story book. The author killed it. So let me tell you about her. So, like I always have to do,
Yes,
the childhood is the most important.
for
Like,
sure.
what they endured as a child basically molds the adult life.
So many of them have, like, it's almost like you want to say, this is why they turned out like this.
And
But then you don't
yes,
want to, like, have sympathy for them because
But then you
they
do.
did such horrible things.
Yeah. Yeah. And because I, in the special ed realm, I 100% believe in mental health all the way.
Oh,
So this
yeah.
bitch was crazy. She had a dysfunctional childhood. And when you get to the end of this story, you will not be surprised at all of what she did. So here we go, Katherine. Her mom and daddy's name was Barbara and Ken. And so I got to tell you a little bit about Barbara and Ken because they molded who the hell Katherine was. So Barbara and Ken they're from Australia. So I've traveled all the way to Australia for this story.
Oh, good day, mate.
Yeah. They do say might.
Wait, you did travel?
No.
Oh, no.
In my head, I traveled. But I was like, Sweet Pea, if we go to Australia,
I
we
was
need to
so
go
dumb.
to Aberdeen. So they fled this town called Aberdeen, Australia, because of a scandal. And the scandal was Barbara was married to a guy named Jack, and they had 4 boys, but she had a side piece named Ken.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was married to Jack, but they were like high school loves, but it ended up being a marriage of convenience. Like, basically, Jack just like came home drunk, had sex with her whenever she wanted to, but she had to wait on him hand and foot. She didn't even like sex anymore.
Oh,
But
wow.
she met Ken, who was one of Jack's friends, and they would go to the bar all the time. So she ended up like getting in Kent's DMs now, you know, if
Yeah,
it was
sliding in
these
the
days.
DMs,
Sliding
yeah.
in the DMs.
For sure.
And then they started a little secret relationship, and it was kind of convenient for both. Like, Ken liked to do it all day long, all the time, and Barbara actually did too. So Barbara was like, we're just going to keep this relationship like this. Like, I'm not going to disgrace myself with a divorce.
Oh, never.
But I will commit adultery with you.
Oh. So she has morals.
So they just snuck around.
Yeah.
Until one day Jack found a handprint bruise on her butt or
Oh.
thigh.
Mhm.
And so Jack was like, she's screwing around, and beat her like bruisey, bloody. So he knew what she was doing. Okay, so then it got around town, and back then it was basically like Scarlet Letter A. She was ridiculed. She was called whore. She was called mistress. She was dogged everywhere she went, and her boys even spit in her face. So she had 4 boys with Jack. even spit her in her face when they saw her. So remember Ken, Barbara, and Ken, he said, come with me. And so they fled and they went to a whole nother town called Maury.
Okay.
All right. And she left her. 2 of the kids went and lived with Jack's sister, and the other 2 stayed with Jack. But she had no contact with any of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now it's Barb and Ken. They got married. She was pregnant like really soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
She read
the
it.
honeymoon period, of course, did not last long at all. She began to realize that Ken, remember she met Ken in a bar, but he was actually a total alcoholic. So daily he would get drunk and he would come home and he'd beat her ass and would sexually abuse her up to 10 times a day. So his libido was off the charts.
What?
So she stopped wanting sex.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Because, he was gross to her, but he would take it up to 10 times a day.
I can't.
No. So her life was miserable, but she thought she deserved it because she was like, I didn't like Jack, but Jack didn't do this to me. I should have just did right with Jack. So she thought this was like her punishment for leaving her first marriage. So then they had some kids, and then there were boys, and then they began to mimic their dad. So they were throwing punches at her. They were talking bad to her. So she was like the slave of the house to all the men in the house. And so this went on and went on and went on and went on. And then she found out she was pregnant again. See, she didn't want to leave Ken because she was like, I left these other kids from this last marriage. I don't want to leave these kids. So she got pregnant, and this time it was twins. And she was like, hell no. Now there's going to be 5 people against me. But they were girls.
Uh-oh.
And this is where Katherine...
she was a twin, yes.
Yes, was born on August 24th of 1955. Katherine and her sister is Joy.
Okay.
So really quickly, Joy, corralled with the boys. She was a tomboy. She ganged up against her mom and Katherine. But Katherine, on the other hand, was very prissy, very girly, and she shied away from the boys. So there was one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
So first husband, Jack, he died. And so the boys that hated her and spit it in her face had to come and live with them. So now you got,
15
your
kids.
2 boys, your 2 girls, daddy, mama, and now the boys from the previous, which already hated her. They referred to her as my whore the whore of my mother, or whore. I don't know how they said it. Whore of a mother. My whore of a mother. And then they would see how Ken treated her. So that's how they saw women. So they would go out into the community and they would assault women. There were so many accusations against them, sexual assaults, right? And so they were kept in the house because they couldn't be trusted outside.
No, yeah.
But they had these sexual experiences with their sister. But not Joy, because Joy was one of the boys. They weren't going to rape Joy. They began slowly sexually assaulting Katherine, starting at the age 4 through the age 14. So she became the sex doll of her brothers. Mom was the sex doll of her daddy. And she did what she always saw and what she learned. And what was crazy is Mom would tell her all about it. This is what men want. You just got to do what they want. This was normal.
Gosh.
One day she asked her mom, she was like, well, what if I don't want them to do it? And her mom told her, just let them do what they want. It's easier that way.
Such a good mom.
So, she deserved a prize.
She was the mom of the year.
Barbara, you were the mom of the year.
Come be everybody's mom.
So, Katherine continued to just let her brothers do her. And never
That's a fun
spoke out.
Life. That's a fun upbringing.
One good thing is Katherine had this uncle named Uncle Oscar that was a very positive person in her life. He had like this horse farm and this animal farm. He rode horses. He rescued animals that he found on the side of the road. She would help him like rescue them and then care for them and like give them great lives. She trusted him. She loved him, or she thought she loved him, and he was a landmark in her life. But Uncle Oscar, dang it, had his own problems. He was very appropriate with her, but he was depressed. So by 1969, he killed himself with the shotgun. He shot himself. And so Katherine snapped. And all of her rage and all of her anger came out after he died, where the next time, right after that, one of her brothers tried to touch her, and she flip mode on him.
She hates men. I get it now.
Yeah, she punched him so hard that she broke his jaw.
I'm kind of thinking like, hell yeah.
Good, yeah. She's a bad bitch for a long time.
Yeah, so I'm like, I get, like, as far as up to now, I'm like, you go, girl.
Yeah.
Like, good job. But
everything that she does, like, you can look back in her, like, childhood and you're like, oh, okay, I can understand this. But,
yeah.
So she punched him so hard that she broke his jaw. And then he went and told the other brothers, and they're like, hell no, we're going to go. Like, you're full of it. They ended up with black eyes, stab wounds, but they couldn't tell on her because if they said what would happen, she would said, well, they tried to rape me. And in that time in Australia, rapists were castrated. And they wanted to keep their wiggle dingle.
Those blokes.
Their dangly langly.
Their dangly langlies.
So they were just like, oh, I fell down the stairs, or I was crazy.
I ran into the wall.
Yeah. So she got away with all this things that she did with him.
Yeah, yeah.
Time kind of went on, and people kind of start to realize the type of family that the Knights were. So they were kind of getting shamed for these shitty ways, and they decide to move back to Aberdeen, kind of where it all started. Remember, that's where Barbara and Jack fled from.
Yep.
So now Katherine gets to go to school, but she's such a sweet, quiet, like respectful redhead girl until somebody crosses her, and then she whoops ass.
Redheaded, red face.
Redheaded, red face.
She got that red face.
She gets really red, like Scarlet, when she gets mad.
We'll talk about that.
So one girl, like, tries to beat her up on the bus. She takes her scissors and she cuts off the girl's braid. Sends the bitch on balls.
She just had scissors with her.
I think she was like, okay, I'm gonna get her. She came back the next day with these scissors.
She was prepared.
Yes. A boy smarted off to her, and she pushed his head so hard into the seat that his front teeth were busted out.
Oh, she's got rage.
So when she flipped. She's like basically had PTSD for all these years. So she was not going to be beat up on like she was for so many years.
No, she's done with that.
Incidents like this would like constantly happen in school. Incidents with knives. She never got in trouble because she would hide her knife. She would hold knives on kids. She would like slice them. She would cut them. She never got in trouble because she was so sweet and so meek most of the time. Like all the time. Like teachers could not even see her doing that.
Oh my god.
But rumors like piled up about her rage. But the only people who witnessed were those bullies and those troublemakers. So what happened is a teacher failed her. This is when it all comes to light. Oh. One of her teachers failed her, and she failed this test, and she got her little knife that she keeps in her
little hidden knife
dress. Yeah. And she goes after the teacher and threatens to kill him and like rages. Well, he has to knock her down. And when everybody comes in, she's on the ground, he's standing up. So guess who gets suspended? Teacher.
Oh. Way to go.
So again, Katherine is innocent. But it finally comes out, and he gets to come back to work. Katherine gets to come back to school, but she has to see a doctor, and she is diagnosed with borderline personality
disorder.
You can't play with that diagnosis.
No, but are you going to tell us what that is, the definition of that is?
I mean, you can. Do you have it up?
Yeah.
Go.
I don't, actually, not yet.
Well, she cray. And she had all the signs, but no medication ever helped. So then doctors started like thinking, does she really have it? Or is she just the product of her upbringing? Like dog eat dog world. Like you cross me, I'm going to make sure you never cross me again. Because they tried to treat her and it didn't help. She would still rage. She would still flip a switch. But people question it because nothing like helps her. So,
like they view things in extremes.
very.
Like it's like all good or all bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So after that, like she quit school. And
Yeah.
so she doesn't get past like school after she's 15. So she drops out of school at 15 years old. But, you know, she loves her dad so much. And her dad, though, is shitty to the mom, loves her. He was like a god in her eyes. And he was famous in the community for his slaughterhouse skills. He worked at the slaughterhouse. He was like the head man in charge. He was the most skilled of all the men. And Katherine was always mesmerized by his skills with the knife. And so she dropped out of school and she wanted to work at the slaughterhouse.
Wasn't she like really illiterate and stuff and not very smart?
She was on paper, but very, like, she had average IQ up here.
Okay.
She just didn't get the practice of like knowing how to put it down.
Yeah.
So she was smart. She was smart. She just didn't know how to put it down on paper.
Not book smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she tried to get a job at slaughterhouse and they were like, no, this is not a job for a woman. And so she instead got a job at this fabric clothing company where she cut fabric. So she at least got to use some of the cutting skills that she loved. But she was too ratchet for these girls. And she didn't really get along with the women there.
She cut anybody's hair?
No.
No, just on the bus. Okay.
Just on the bus. So instead of going to like go to drinks with the women after work, she would go to the bars where all the slaughterhouse men would hang out. She was foul-mouthed, she had bad temper, but she was like one of the guys, but she never drank because she saw how alcohol men like lost control.
Yeah.
And so she never wanted to lose control. So she would fake drinking by drinking lemonade. But people thought that she was like drinking with the men. So she was even more like accepted as one of the men because of that. So after about a year, she applied again. And because she knew a bunch of men at the slaughterhouse, she got her dream job as a slaughterer. I don't know, a slaughter.
Slaughterition? Slaughterition.
Slaughterition.
Slaughter-atrician.
We just made that up.
Yeah.
She was a slaughterition.
We should come up with our like own dictionary.
Like the
optometrist?
No,
Autopsist.
And my cousin texted, she was like, tell Caroline it's called a coroner. I was like, oh, yeah,
well, that's why
that's
we're
not
special. And this is my new voice.
So she was cutting up offal for dog food. This is why I don't feed my dogs dog food. It is just basically like the leftover carcass and organs from the animals that they slaughter to go, like the cows and the lambs.
My dogs
and
like
the
that.
pigs.
They're like, give me the leftover carcass.
Give you the leftover leg bones.
I mean, look, they smell poop. Dogs rolling dead snakes. They're weird.
So she killed it at this job. She excelled. She was moved up. She excelled. She was moved up. The whole department, like the whole slaughterhouse was better because she was there. And even the men, like, worked harder because they were like, I can't be outdone by this woman. She's a bad bitch.
She's a bad bitch. She got them knife skills.
Still a bad bitch. She looked crazy, but as of right now, she's badass.
Yeah.
So the owners knew she was a gem, but they were like, I'm not going to give her a raise. And then people flip out. Like all these men will flip out. So instead, on her 1-year anniversary, they gave her a personalized knife set.
Oh, no.
In this pretty leather carrying case.
Wow.
And she loved these so much. She sharpened them to perfection. Listen, at night, I need you to, she took them home every day. What do you think she did with them?
I think she hung them over her bed.
I mean, like most people have like their wedding pictures or like their decorations over their bed. I don't know.
I may have done some research. This bitch hung her knives over her bed.
She hung her knives very meticulously over her bed.
Because that's normal. You don't have knives hanging over your bed, April?
Had to look at them before she
I only
did
have
it.
one knife hanging over my bed.
I have none. I mean, everybody has knives above her bed. Okay,
Yeah.
So she loved these knives, right?
Yeah. Just knife lover.
She loved her job so much that she showed up on her days off.
Oh, she's dedicated AF.
And she would just go and watch other guys and like learn the art.
Learn their skills.
But her favorite department was the pig department. Because you got to torture the pigs.
Absolutely.
And they screamed.
This is what I learned. Do you know that pigs are like smarter than dogs? And they like know what's happening?
Well, did you know that we can have pig organs in our body because they mimic ours? So my nephew who has a pig valve like in his heart.
Okay. Do you want some bacon?
He loves bacon.
Okay. I don't. Okay.
Isn't it weird? Like he was missing a heart
How
valve.
does he know that? How do you know that?
He had surgery and got a pig valve put in his heart.
Oh.
How did you miss that?
I think I missed everything you just said within 5 seconds.
He had surgery, or like he was born without a heart valve, so he had to have surgery, and they put a pig valve in there.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Why?
So sometimes he oinks.
Oh.
Not really, but he does love some bacon.
What if Jeffrey Dahmer gave his heart valve? Would you let him
Did
put
you have
that in
people
there?
text you saying they do not want?
No, but I thought about that just right now. Because you never said your answer.
If I really needed a kidney, I don't give a shit whose kidney it is. Like, I don't think I'd want their heart because, I don't know. I feel like whatever's in their heart's going to transfer to me, and maybe
like
I want to
Katherine
start
Knight's
screwing little boys.
Kidney and heart and stuff.
I especially don't want hers.
See, you can't be, but you can't be picky.
That's I need to read the bio. Oh, you're gonna give me so and so's kidney. Let me see what they did, and let me see. Like,
okay, so you're gonna. It's on a case by case basis.
I need to be able to review the case.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. It's a good.
Sorry,
conclusion.
we digress, but it was related to a past episode.
Back to pigs.
So back to pigs. She loved the pig area.
Yes.
And so she would watch the pig guy who had too much fun in the pig department. She would watch him torture. So they would have to kill the pig, skin it alive. The pigs would scream, and she wanted in on it. So she would go and she would chase the pig and just like stab it and hear it squeal and stab it. She wanted to know how many times she needed to stab the pig until it died. Then she would perfect her skinning game. Remember that for later on.
Oh.
And she would, so she just loved that pig department. Okay.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
She perfected her knife game. So just like normal, after work, she would go to the bars with her coworkers, and she met a guy named David. This is David number 1. Say David.
David number 1
was soft.
Oh.
Like, he was good looking, but he wasn't harsh. He wasn't violent. He was a drinker, and him and Katherine flirted. But here's the thing. Katherine flirted with everybody. Flirted with everybody there, but she was so thirsty that, like, people never, like, gave her any attention. But David did.
She's like a big, meaty lady.
She was supposed to be, like, big, like, muscle bound. She was strong.
She, like, big boned.
Big and strong. She liked smaller guys, too.
Yeah.
And then even softer guys. So David was real soft.
Like fat?
They started dating. Oh. And, like, what?
I said, like, fat or, like, what do you mean? Like, his personality's soft?
Yeah. Like, he was just
gentle.
Nice, gentle, meek. But he was flattered. So somebody tried to start a fight with him, and then Catherine went and beat this guy's ass, and he was flattered by that. He was like, she took up for me.
Yeah.
So then he fell in love, and they moved in together, and they started talking about marriage.
Okay.
So in order for them to marry, Catherine was like, you need to meet my mom and daddy. So they go and they meet mom and daddy.
Oh.
Mama basically tells David, watch your back. She gonna kill you. She crazy. She got some screws loose, quote unquote.
And he's like, I don't care.
And so
I
he
love
laughed
her.
it off,
He's
thinking it was a joke.
oh.
So that night they got married. They drank all day and night.
Did she drink or fake drink?
She fake drank,
Oh.
but he was real drinking.
He was real drunk.
So when it came time to consummate their marriage,
Oh.
he could only have sex 3 times.
Oh, and she was real mad about that.
She was like, we gotta make it 5.
Because that's how many times her mom has
Yes!
which I think that's so weird. Why
That
she
you
does
even
that?
know that.
Oh my
But
God.
her mom would tell her stuff like this.
So weird.
She choked his ass.
Yep. Well, I mean, I would just be choking him too. What the hell?
Because that last time he passed out on top of her and she was pissed. So he woke up to her choking him, and he was like, wait, what's going on? What's going on? He finally was like, I can't do this. He went to the bathroom, passed out in the bathtub, and the next morning she was a perfect wife.
Oh yeah.
So
BPD.
they had a great marriage for like 5
Yeah,
seconds.
I mean, it started off really good.
But she was a good wife. She made me feel really bad. She kept an immaculate house. She did all the heavy lifting, and the woman, what back then the woman thinks that they should do. She
Right.
cooked amazing, beautiful, meals, todos los días,
Excuse me?
every day,
Oh.
and treated him like a king. She adored him, and so he thought he hit the jackpot.
He was like, I'm living my best life.
He would go to work, go to the bar, come home, and treat it like a king.
Yeah.
But
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
her mind was telling her things
Yep.
that wasn't
She got-
happening. She was possessive. If he came home 1 minute late, he had a girlfriend and he was cheating. The accusation started off weekly, you had a girlfriend, you had a girlfriend, you had a girlfriend. But then they got worse. And then because her biggest fear was abandonment, just the thing said.
BPD.
So then she got pregnant, and it was worse because she was like, now I cannot be pregnant and he abandoned me or leave me with the baby. One night he went to the bar. So it's usually he'll go to work and then go to the bar. But this day he came home and changed his shirt and went to the bar. Oh, hell.
She got real mad.
She was like, this is off his routine.
Uh-oh, she
Something
got triggered.
is fishy. She grabbed all his clothes, put them in the bathtub, and lit them on fire.
Oh.
But got the whole house, this whole apartment on fire. The ambulance had to come, and they had to move.
Oh my God. But they don't have any kids at this point.
No, she's pregnant right now.
Okay.
Yes. So they had to move.
Oh my gosh.
Another time, he was 4 minutes late, and she hit him in the back of the head with a cast iron skillet. Those things are heavy.
Yeah.
You pick one up and your wrist goes limp.
Yeah.
They are heavy. He was unconscious, and he had to crawl to the neighbor's house just to get help.
Oh, yeah.
And they called the ambulance, and when he woke up at the hospital, she was by his bed crying.
Oh.
So he felt bad for her.
Did she bring the skillet?
She did not.
Oh.
She probably just re-seasoned it and put it
Oh,
back
okay.
in the
That's good.
cabinet.
She's so sweet. Those skillets really do give you what's
They're
that?
heavy.
What's that?
Limp wrist.
No, it's called something else.
Oh. Carpal tunnel.
Carpal tunnel. Those skillets will give you carpal tunnel.
They will. Okay. So now Catherine's going into labor, right?
Okay.
So David ends up finding a side piece because he's like, I can't deal with this. I
Yeah,
can't deal
he's
with
like,
this.
she's crazy.
And
She's
he-
beating me over the head with
Yes!
this iron
So he realizes
skillet.
she's crazy.
Yeah.
After that, he burns him in the face with the iron, and he has like the scar to his thing.
Oh,
so,
yeah. So she beat him with the skillet.
She
and
crazy.
yeah.
She crazy. He finds a girlfriend.
And she's sleeping with knives over her bed, too. So, okay.
I mean, that should have been it.
It was your first sign.
If you ever swipe right and you go to somebody's house,
If
for everybody.
I swipe right and I see a picture of knife over your bed, I'm liking you, babe.
Oh, yeah. She's going to talk about it on the podcast the next day.
Yep.
So, listen, when she goes into labor, this was his time to escape. So he packed up his shit and he is gone.
Gone.
Gone, gone, gone.
Gone, gone.
She goes crazy. She just go to a mental home and she hates the kid because she blames the kid. Like, all these things happen. Like, she's crazy. So, and then she went to like the crazy house and everything.
Crazy house, like the loony bin?
Yeah, she had to she was
DePaul?
institutionalized because she was having what we would call now as postpartum depression.
Okay.
And she basically blamed her daughter for David.
So she had the baby.
She had the baby. He left her when she went to the hospital. So when she went to the hospital to have the baby, he packed his shit and went to go join his girlfriend.
Yeah, he had to escape.
And went to another town. So she was like waiting on him to show up. He never showed up. His friends went looking for him. He realized Katherine was crazy and he had to get out. So he did, and he left the daughter. Daughter's name was Melissa. Oh. Poor Melissa was just stuck with Katherine and was taken away like a couple times. And it even got to the point where she put baby Melissa on the rail of the train system to try to kill her.
Yes.
Yeah. Somebody, like this random guy, saved her. So she went in for what we would call postpartum depression, got treated, got out.
A little bit more than postpartum if you're putting your baby on a railroad track.
Yeah. Yes. Got out, bought an axe, threatened to kill people with an axe, put the baby on the trailway, and here's the thing. She would just get in trouble and go back into the institution, be treated for a little bit,
and she would trick
sign herself back out. Yeah, she'd tell him everything she needed to tell him. Said all the right things. Mm-hmm. So, in 1986, she met David number 2, David Saunders. So, there are any Davids out there, do not be dating no Katherine.
With the K.
With the K.
Well, you can date a Katherine with the C, because my sister has a Katherine with the C, and she's dateable.
She's fine.
Yeah, she won't.
Guess what?
She won't sleep with knives over her bed.
My brother David is married to a Katherine. I need him to listen
with
to
the
this
K
podcast.
or C?
With the K.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
He needs to.
I know.
Be ready.
I know. When we record this, I'm gonna send it to him.
Okay.
And just say, "This is your warning."
This is your warning. We're all Davids and Katherines with a K.
Yeah. Sorry, Katie. So. He moved in with her quickly because, remember, she's got the libido of her daddy. She can, screw all the time. So when she starts dating these guys, she's screwing their brains out, basically.
Oh, my God.
And it starts off lust. They fall in love with them. Then she treats them like a king when she moves in with them and cooks these amazing meals. And, they always think they hit the jackpot. Mm-hmm. And then she goes crazy and hits him on the head with the fryer pan. But she also killed his puppy.
That's where we stop.
Podcast over.
I'm leaving.
She kills his puppy to show him what would happen to him if he cheated on her.
Oh, no.
She hit him in the face with the iron, stabbed him with the scissors, and he left and hid. He went in hiding.
He's in hiding.
He went to hiding. David was gone.
If somebody tried to kill my dog, I would be I would go psycho on them, and I would probably hit him with the iron.
Yes.
Like Home Alone.
Like Home Alone.
Have that iron picture on your face, burn picture.
So, goes back into a crazy house. Oh, I hate calling it crazy house. A mental home institution.
Mental home. Yeah, that's.
This is just my brunch. Vodka pineapple version.
Yeah. I mean, it's
an appropriate drink for brunch, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Vodka pineapple. So, I'm praying about it. Okay, so comes out, but she always tends to find another man. And she finds a guy named John Chillingworth. We're going to call him John number 1 because she's already had 2 Davids.
Gosh, now she's going to have 2 Johns.
She's going to have 2 Johns.
This bitch.
She is all about
repeating names.
Repeating,
I always have a tendency to date people with the first letter J.
Oh, stop it.
I know. I've had Jason, a Justin, a Jay. I don't know. It's just, I need to get away from those J's.
Except for when you met Ted.
His first name starts with a J.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, she met John Chillingworth.
Okay.
I'm whispering like you.
I know. You're channeling your inner Caroline.
Caroline. I feel like I sound like a smoker. Okay. So, so dated John. John had heard about Katherine. So, he knew she was a little cray. So, he kept his apartment over here, even though he moved in with her. And they were together for 3 years. And they had a kid.
Oh, my gosh.
But she started with the same old shit.
You know, they always say they like the crazy.
They do. Because
I need to start
she
being
did
more
all
crazy.
these things and they would still come back. They would still come back.
Yeah.
So John came, she got to where she got John's routine down so good that she memorized his schedule. And so one day he came home from the bar and she was in their bed doing the dirty with John number 2. His last name was Price. And he was like, she did this on purpose because she knows my routine. She knew I would come home. And so they broke up. John left, went back to his old apartment, then left town, and he got sober because all these guys have been alcoholics, basically. He got sober, stopped drinking, and became a counselor and helped men for the rest of his life.
Oh.
So he was like, he's the only one that came out like unscathed.
Oh my gosh.
So now here's John number 2.
Okay, John number 2. Here we go.
Poor John. He, like, David and John, like, those were like her pregame.
Okay.
I mean, it's sad, but it was like, this was like, she finalized her craziness with poor John Price.
Poor Pricey.
So John Price was divorced. He had 3 kids, but only 2 of them lived with him. And they surprisingly loved Katherine. So she took her kids, he had his kids, and they just kind of combined families. It was, what do you call that, a blended household?
Yeah, blended family.
John was actually flattered by Katherine's jealousy.
Oh.
And when she slapped the hell out of him, he was like, oh, it's because she has so much passion for me.
Yes, exactly.
But he was kind of turned on by it a little bit because his last marriage was like loveless. And
yeah.
So
he didn't get slapped.
Yeah, he had slapped,
Yeah,
so he was
like,
uninterested.
Yeah, there's nothing here for me.
So right now life is roses, but he's okay with it because they're just shacking up. Katherine's like, give me the ring.
Yeah, she's like, let's get married.
Let's get married. And he thinks marriage equals doom. Because his last relationship, they did great. They got married and then it like went downhill.
Yeah.
So he wants to keep what they have now by not getting married. Katherine's like, if you die, I want your house. Because he made a lot of money. He had a good job. She wants like some benefits.
Yeah.
And she wants him to commit.
Yeah.
Because she's afraid of getting left, right?
She's fear of abandonment.
So they're living together, and she's okay with that for like a minute. But then it comes back up again. Marry me, marry me, marry me. And he's like, no, no, no. So she gets pissed, and she gets a video camera that he bought her, and she videos all these first aid kits in their house. His job threw them out because they were outdated.
Oh.
So he got them out of the dumpster.
Oh, he dumpster diving.
He went dumpster diving, and he was like, oh, I could use these. And he brought them home.
Probably because he knew he was going to get cut.
He videoed it.
She videoed the stuff that he
videoed it and said that he stole it and then mailed it to his bosses.
Oh
So
my
he got
gosh.
fired from the job that he had for 17 years and
Completely
made all
rubbish.
the money. Yes. And even when it was established that like this that he didn't steal it, that he actually got it out of the trash can, they were like, you shouldn't like associate with a girl like Katherine Knight,
Yeah.
and you're not getting your job back.
Because
So
you're dumb.
yeah. So you're like, so he hit rock bottom. He's pissed. He went home. He took all her shit, her kid's shit, threw it out in the yard, changed the locks, and locked her out.
Oh,
She was like pissed.
she was real mad.
Yeah. And so they were broken up for like maybe a month.
Yeah.
And then she finds him at the bar, sweet talks him. He remembers the good times, and they go home together. And
That's
you
when
know,
she killed him.
not yet,
Oh.
not yet.
Oh my gosh.
So she got him fired in 1998. They go back and forth with each other till 2000, but he never lets her move in because he doesn't trust her.
Well,
But he likes the good loving that she gives,
Oh
and
my
he likes the
she must get
dinners.
good BJs.
She does it all. She does it all.
Oh,
So by 2000, everything's a battlefield. And she stabs him in an argument. And it pierces his rib cage, and had it been over like an inch, it would have killed him. So once again, he's done, or he thinks he's done.
like with a relationship, he's like, no,
Yes.
you had to kill me.
He gets a restraining order. He goes to his work,
Those
like
words.
with this wound blood is oozing out of his shirt.
Oh my gosh.
And he tells them what happened with
Yeah.
Katherine. And he tells all his friends, if I do not show up to work for tomorrow, it's because she killed me.
Oh my gosh.
After work, he was scared to go home, so he went to the bar. People all around, all the town folk,
Yeah.
heard about the story. And they were like, come stay with me. Don't go home.
Yeah.
And he did it because he was like, I don't want her to take her anger out on my kids. So he went home, had a bang at the door, and he was scared because he thought it was Katherine, but it was a neighbor.
Oh my
So
gosh.
he went and drank with his neighbors,
Yeah.
came home, passed out, and that was the last time anybody ever seen John.
Oh no.
So that was John's day. Let me tell you what Katherine's day looked at after she had stabbed him
Okay.
and got his rib cage. So she decided she was going to film a home video.
Oh.
So she filmed her kids. They were playing outside. She went to her kids one by one and said, if something should happen to me, who needs to take this kid, and they need to take these belongings. So she did every kid like that. Then she ended the home video. She packed up the kids, took them to a sleepover at a friend's, and then she went into town and took all the money, and she bought some lingerie.
Oh, lingering?
She bought some black lingerie, and she was like, I don't usually spend money on this, but this is a special night.
Oh.
So she got her black lingerie, and she went home and just sat and stared at the ground until the sun went down. And at 11 o'clock, she went to John's house because she knew he was passed out by then.
Oh my gosh.
She let herself in. She showered. She put on her black lingerie.
I love me some black lingerie.
And she got in the bed with him. And because he's used to sleeping with somebody, when the bed like moved,
Yeah.
he didn't notice anything.
Okay.
He was passed out. He's
Yeah.
been drinking all day.
Yeah.
She rubbed on his chest.
Oh, yeah.
And she made her way down.
Uh-oh.
Got him ready.
Are we doing a porno?
This
Like,
might be a porn
okay.
podcast.
This is a porn podcast.
We're going to put E/porn. When she crawled on top of him,
Uh-oh.
he was still not like of conscious mind yet.
No.
When he finished, he woke up and he was like, what? And he threw her off of him. Guess what's
Wait,
above the bed?
he finished when he was asleep?
Yes,
Okay.
like half sleep.
Oh.
So he finished,
Okay.
realized what she had done,
Yeah.
threw him off,
So-
and this pissed her off. So she looked above the bed because she got her weapons up there
She said,
still.
"There's my knife decorations."
She grabbed these knives. This is funny, not funny. She grabbed those knives and she stabbed him repeatedly.
How many times?
So, but he died between the 20th and the 30th stab wound.
How do they even know that? Because that's what they do.
The
autopsist. Oh,
did that.
Oh my God.
So he tried to run off the room, out of the room, and got like halfway outside. She drug him in, stabbed him, crawled on top of him, stabbed him, and she was like, he would never be able to leave me again.
No.
After this, she felt exhilarated and at more peace than she has her entire life.
Oh yeah.
Because she got her revenge.
She did. She sure did.
So then she just kind of sat there.
She took it back to her childhood, and she was like, "You man raped me, and I'm
Yes,
gonna stab you."
to get all out on him.
Oh, for sure.
Then she realized, you know what? He's not a man. He is a pig. He's equivalent to swine.
Oh.
So then she channeled her inner slaughterhouse skills.
Oh.
This, y'all,
Wow.
is where it gets real.
Fucked up. This is literally where she makes dinner.
Yes, she makes dinner.
What we having for dinner tonight, April?
So
Cabbage,
she says he's equivalent
Squash?
to swine.
bacon, pork loin,
All the things. All the things.
baked potato.
So she did what she did best.
Okay.
And she's realizing that the kids are going to be home soon, so she needs to get dinner ready. So she grabs her knife from her knife set that she loves, and she chopped off his head and set it in the pot that's on the stove, ready with water, seasoning, and vegetables. And she turns it on. She thought to herself, I will feed his kids, feed him to his kids. Like the kid's going to eat their daddy.
Oh my god.
She grabbed her knife and she skinned him like in one sitting. It's like, you know the people that like, have you ever like done an apple? I've seen people like skin an apple and they're doing it, they just keep going around and it's just like
one long string.
I can't even peel an orange in one like
No.
swoop. There's like 1,000 different pieces.
Yeah.
She skinned his whole body in one piece. Like it was basically like a glove, like a body glove. She was that good. She set and then she hung it up like on the door, like his skin.
Yeah, like a curtain or something.
Like a curtain. She set the table beautifully like she always did. She put names on each plate so everybody had seating arrangements.
Oh, so she was doing like channeling her inner housewives.
Oh, yes. Yeah. She knew the head would not be enough meat, so she decided that she needed some more meat. So her favorite part of swine was the rump. So she sliced his buttocks off, made steaks out of them, and put them in a pan with gravy and vegetables.
Dinner time, baby. Here we go.
She got John's body, propped it up in his favorite chair at the table, put a hat on him, and a bottle of lemonade propped in his arm like he was drinking. She wanted to make it look real for when the kids come home. The food smelled so good.
Oh, I bet it did.
She was like, does it taste as good as it smells? So why not taste it? And she was like, just one bite, and I'll swallow it, and he will be with me for forever. That's Jeffrey Dahmer. Right?
Oh, my God.
He'll be with me for forever. Well, she took a bite, and she couldn't even chew it. She spit it out in the sink, and she was like, oh, hell, this ain't gonna work. These kids are gonna eat this food. This plan isn't gonna work. So she threw the meat out in the backyard for the dogs.
That hard work.
For the dogs. And she got her pills in the cabinet because it's the only thing he let her keep there. She took all her pills. She went in that bloody bed. She crawled under the covers, and she thought she was killing herself, but she just passed out. When John didn't show up to work, his coworker was like, something's wrong. went to the house, saw the blood on the porch, called the police, and the crime scene. I mean, just can you imagine that crime scene?
No.
Yes, because these cops, they either stopped being cops, they didn't eat meat anymore. Some of them killed themselves. It was, yeah. So it was bad. So they saw Katherine. They sent her to the hospital. She woke up 2 days later, and she didn't remember a thing. They clearly knew she was, like,
having a manic episode or whatever.
yes, and that she needed, like, she wasn't in a good mental state. So they were like, she cray, and she need to go.
You know, that puts a whole another definition of manslaughter.
Literally.
Literally.
The people in the town have been scared of Katherine for years. So when they heard of this, they were like, never let her out.
Don't.
Because she's been let out 14 times before. They were afraid of her.
She obviously was in Florida. Because in Florida, they don't let you out.
They don't let you out. Well, the autopsist or the coroner,
I'm going to say autopsy.
when he performed the autopsy, he determined there were 37 stab wounds, and the skinning was done so perfectly that he was able to just fit his skin back on his body like a glove so that he could be ready for, like, funeral and, like, look at himself.
Wait, but he didn't have a head.
I mean, but you could...
Did he?
No, he didn't have a head. Oh, he didn't have a head. She cooked it. But...
Did they put his head back on?
I don't know. Not if it was cooked. I don't know. Probably not. But they were able to fit his skin back on his body. Maybe not for a funeral.
Did she not use it like to make a couch?
No.
Oh, well, that was...
This is like
all that effort. At least do something with it.
Do something with it. Do like Ed Gein and make...
Yeah, Ed Gein.
Ed Gein.
Either same difference. But yeah, he made what, like... That's like the...
Silence of the Lambs?
Yes.
Yes.
I always loved that movie because I liked Lamb.
Trial was set immediately, but people in the community did not want to serve on the jury board. I would have loved.
Why would they not? I mean, just say you're guilty.
One, they were scared of her. Two, they didn't want to see the pictures.
Oh.
And it's such a, like, it was, I guess it was just like small town issues.
They must have been real bad because, like, nobody wants to even talk about it.
Yeah.
Her.
I would fly to Australia to be on this jury board.
Yeah, you'd be like, "Good day, mate."
I would.
How you blokes doing? Is that an accent?
You were really good.
Could be Australian.
You should.
Okay.
Trip on the ball, anyways, they ended up finding some jurors, and she was sentenced to life. The first woman in Australia to be sentenced to life with an addendum of never to be released.
Ever.
They should have put ever.
Ever. Like all caps.
So right now she's in a maximum security prison where she's constantly escorted by 4 security guards. Like, she's still there. Remember, this was happening in 2000. So she's still there. She's only like 65 or something. She was born in 1955. So she's like the same age as my dad. So she's alive. She's still there. The people in there call her Nana. And she's kind of elite. Like, she runs the other female inmates. When there's an altercation, they call her to resolve it.
It's like watch Orange is the New Black.
Or Orange is the New Black. Or Wentworth. It's like kind of like Wentworth. It's like both of them. One. So, but she was also multi-talented. So this is when I think, like, she had so much potential. She was an amazing wife. She was good with her slaughterhouse skills. And in prison, she knitted, she crocheted, she painted, she drew, she did pottery, and they sold her work for money and funded the education program. Everybody in her life wrote her off except for her sister Joy, who still visits her periodically. So in 2006, she tried to get out, but Judge Justice said, hell no.
No, don't do it.
Because she never, ever showed remorse.
No, she didn't. She has her red face. Why did she always have a red face?
She was a narcissistic
She was like a tomato face.
She was just real fair skin, redhead, and like
No, but
freckle
like
face.
it would get so red. Like
Yeah,
her face.
when she was pissed. Yeah.
She probably had rosacea.
Rosacea.
Yeah.
So there is Katherine, and oh my God, that was a mouthful, but I felt like
It was totally worth it.
So
that was a great job.
I knew this was gonna. I thought this was gonna be a quickie, but
no, we don't
you
need a
can't
quickie every
leave out
time.
not one husband.
No, you can't.
Because she built on each of them.
Yeah.
Wait, this is what I have to end with.
Okay.
I have a former student with autism that loves animals, right?
Okay.
And in high school, every day he'd walk around with these animal facts.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of like overly. So then we had to say, okay, one animal fact a day.
Yeah.
So now that he graduated years and years ago, he puts them on Facebook, he Snapchats you or he texts you an animal fact a day. He works at this aquarium.
Okay.
I love him. Okay. So the animal fact for today is, are you ready?
Yes.
Happy Saturday. How are you? Ostriches are the only birds with 2 toes on each foot. Perfect for running fast and kicking. Males use them to dig holes for females to lay their eggs in.
Aww.
The end.
I didn't know you could run faster with 2 toes.
Yeah, I know.
I'm about to cut my toes off.
Cut them off. So
I love that fun fact.
I know. I'll do an animal fact from my former kid every once in a while.
That's so sweet.
I get them all. I know. I feel like these are going to help me. Like if I'm ever in a situation in an African safari, his animal facts are going to help me get out of that situation.
So good. Yeah.
Okay, so listen, that is story number 1 of our women killers, like our month of women killers.
Yep.
So
now you
stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Make sure you follow us. Instagram, Twitter. Email us if you have any crazy stories. bloodyhappyhour@gmail.com.
Hey, RRS, rate,
review, and subscribe.
That means leave a comment. We don't care if it's good or bad because we'll take it all in. Leave a comment and then subscribe. Bye, y'all.
Excuse me. That's not how we end.
Hey,
3 things. Stay aware.
Stay alive.
And always be
DTF.
Boom, 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 boom. Down to find.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.